A hearing about the future.
White House Council on Environmental Quality has proposed for implementing the National Environmental Policy Act, NEPA.
Over the concern of climate change. A look into Lee.
It's going to be a surge in here. There's going to be some serious waves in here.
And who should be prepared for its arrival. And going back to the classroom for boaters.
It upsets me and I'm not going to go get a card.
These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Samantha Gutierrez.
And I'm Julian Davis. Today is Friday, September 15th, 2023.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
It's not the president being indicted, but his son, who is being accused for 3 charges. History was made yesterday with the son of a sitting U.S. president being indicted on charges related to a gun he bought in 2018.
Paloma Pimentel from our D.C. Bureau reports how the charges came about.
Mr. Biden agreed to enter a plea agreement in federal court earlier this summer for 2 federal tax misdemeanors from the past and a gun charge back in 2018. The gun charge would have been dropped in 2 years if Mr. Biden pleaded guilty to the tax misdemeanors, passed regular drug tests, and avoided legal trouble. However, after investigations revealed that Mr. Biden lied on the federal ATF form that was required for his gun purchase in Delaware by swearing that he wasn't using or addicted to any illegal substances while he was allegedly struggling with an addiction at the time. His plea deal was rejected by Judge Marilyn Noriega, who was nominated to the bench by President Donald J. Trump in 2017. There is no official day for Biden's arraignment, but the federal crimes of lying on an ATF form and possessing a firearm while allegedly consuming drugs can lead Biden to face up to 25 years in prison and $750,000 in fines. On top of this, Attorney General Merrick Garland promoted the U.S. Attorney overseeing the investigation, David Weiss, to special counsel status, where he will further probe Mr. Biden's case. Even with a looming gun charge, prosecutors are still weighing whether to charge Biden with tax crimes in California or Washington, D.C. I'm Paloma Pimentel in Washington, D.C., reporting for Caplin News.
Plans in place this morning to host a Republican presidential debate here in South Florida. The third Republican presidential primary debate will take place in Miami early November. Both NBC News and Salem Media are in the process of potentially hosting the debate. These debates are valuable for the Republican Party, which can allow voters to consider other candidates as potential presidents. The Republican National Committee has not yet released the criteria for the Miami event.
A hearing on the Hill featuring an environmental expert from FIU. DC Bureau reporter Hawa Ezel is in Washington this morning.
We have serious concerns with many of the topics we discussed.
On Thursday, the Congressional Committee on Natural Resources Subcommittee on Oversight and Investigations held an oversight hearing entitled Examining Systemic Government Overreach at the Council of Environmental Equality. 5 witnesses were called to testify at the hearing on Capitol Hill, including FIU's Director of Environmental Finance and Risk, Research Professor Mario Loyola.
Well, I was invited to testify on a new set of rules that the White House Council on Environmental Quality has proposed for implementing the National Environmental Policy Act, NEPA, which is what governs environmental impact assessment that agencies have to do whenever they do anything to impact the environment.
The committee plans to reconvene soon in efforts to come to a consensus on future legislation regarding environmental justice. In Washington, D.C., Caplin News, Hawa Ezel.
This morning, Hurricane Lee is headed toward landfall in the U.S., and the National Hurricane Center warns of a potential life-threatening storm surge. The Northeast is expected to feel the impacts from Boston, Massachusetts to Portland, Maine today or tomorrow, with the Canadian Hurricane Center also issuing warnings. The Southeast U.S. could also see dangerous surfs from Florida to the Carolinas.
There's going to
Maine's
be
Governor
some
Janet
serious waves
Mills
in here, and that breakwater right there doesn't really protect the surges.
Maine's Governor Janet Mills said residents should exercise caution and to take common sense steps to ensure they have all they need to stay safe. Meteorologists say that the storm weakens, the area will still be impacted.
Survivors of the devastating earthquake that hit Morocco are struggling to get back on their feet this morning. CNN's Nada Bashir has more on how humanitarian organizations, both local and abroad, are aiding those who are left without food and shelter by the tragedy.
Sheltering from the sweltering September heat, survivors of Morocco's earthquake spend another day coming to terms with the tragedy that has befallen this shaken community.
Temporary shelters for those left homeless by the earthquake have been set up across this region. Many of the tents that you can see here have been supplied either by the Moroccan government or by local organizations and charities. But the Moroccan government has also requested assistance from members of the international community. And we've seen these international teams on the ground providing support not only on the search and rescue front, but also with the humanitarian relief effort.
The immediate priorities for our team is always saving life. Following on from that, where we can help medical assistance, identify humanitarian needs, so that even when that rescue phase does close, we've provided all the information we can to help the humanitarian relief that will follow us.
Across the quake zone here in Morocco, there has also been an outpouring of support from the local community, with donations of food, water and medication.
On a toujours le besoin au niveau des tentes.
But volunteers here tell us they still need more tents and, crucially, long-term support with the rebuild effort. The government says the reconstruction of homes lost in the disaster is a priority. But for so many impacted families, there is no telling how long it'll be before they have a real home to return to. Nada Bashir, CNN, in Amizmiz, Morocco.
The U.S. Agency for International Development is now set to provide an initial $1 million in humanitarian support to Morocco. The agency has also sent an assessment team to the country to assist on reconstruction efforts that may, within it, say it will require some long-term support.
Stray animal overpopulation is an ongoing problem here in Miami-Dade County that is currently on the rise. Caplin's Caplin Guevara visited the veterinarian clinic and spoke with pet owners.
The Pet Adoption and Protection Center in Doral hosted Snip Snip Hooray, a free spay and neuter event hosted 4 dogs on Saturday at 6 a.m. to help aid in stray animal overpopulation. Many people, including both dog owners and rescuers, arrived bright and early to have their furry friends cared for and microchipped.
This is Cookie. She's an Australian Shepherd mix. I found her on my way to work at 5:30 in the morning. She was with her puppy and I think she was abandoned.
It is typical that wandering dogs are in close proximity to their homes, so it is encouraged to contact the Miami-Dade County Animal Services, because they will provide free necessities for the dogs. On average, nearly 83% of fostered stray dogs are reunited with their owners, whereas those taken to shelters, chances decrease to 20%. In Miami, it reaches down to 10 to 12%. It is also encouraged to microchip your pets and make sure they are registered so they can be safely returned if lost.
There are so many different things that we as responsible pet owners, as members of the community can do to help actually control the overpopulation. And of course, spaying and neutering. We're expecting to do about 100 to 120 surgeries today. We do this on a regular basis. This is like the 3rd or 4th event that we've had this year.
Not only does spay and neutering aid in the overpopulation of stray animals, which may lead to euthanization, but it increases the quality of the pets' lives.
It's the best thing for the health of your beloved 4-legged family member, right? It extends their life on an average about 3 years. So think about it. What wouldn't you do to have an extra 3 years with your best friend, right?
Microchipping services and spay and neutering surgeries are performed 7 days a week with an appointment and cost $40, but can be done at no cost for those who qualify. The Miami-Dade County Animal Services hosts several events throughout the year in partnership with the Miami Veterinary Foundation in order to control the rising numbers in overpopulation. This is Caplin Guevara reporting for Caplin News.
Okay?
You know,
later today, the Marlins start a 9-game at the homestand, and it will be the break of their season.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
Having safe waterways is always a top priority.
New rules on the water being proposed by a lawmaker here in South Florida. Stick around. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
See us dream. See us remember. See us protest.
You matter. Your feelings matter. Your identity matters. Everything about who you are matters.
See us fight back. See us rebuild. See us shatter stereotypes. See us inspire. See us united. See us now.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
The next time you set sail here in the Sunshine State, it may be with a new set of boating rules. A new state bill proposed by Miami lawmaker could require all boaters to take a boating safety course before heading out on the water.
Currently, Florida law requires anyone born after 1988 to pass a boater safety course. Those born before then are grandfathered in and not required to take it. The bill would remove the age exception.
Education of how to operate a boat is not going to be in the classroom. It's going to be an operating hands-on experience.
The course takes a couple of hours, and the bill would make it easier to prove you passed, creating a designation on your driver's license. The bill, proposed by Miami Republican State Senator Elena Garcia, also targets boating under the influence, which would require convicted offenders to carry boat insurance.
The Marlins ended their fourth matchup with a disappointing loss against the Brewers. The Marlins started with a big sacrifice hit from Jesus Sanchez, which then led to Luis Arias scoring from third base. Marlins Jacob Stallings got a hit into left field. These were not enough, though, to earn the Fish a victory and instead earn them a loss. The final score was Marlins 2, Brewers 4. The Marlins will go against Atlanta Braves tonight at 6:40 p.m. to start their 4-game series. So you're watching Newsbreak, and we'll be right back.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantori here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family, and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's what white people think. You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad. Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
you're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
That is all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Julian Davis.
I'm Samantha Gutierrez. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.